All right.
Okay,
Okay,
you
everybody.
introduce yourself.
Yes, I will do that. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Float Chat. I'm your host, Maria Kay, and I'm here with the illustrious performance troupe, the Agents of Lust. So we've got Granthrax, we've got Lord Brucifer, we've got Heather, Nance, and Trink. So welcome, guys. Welcome to the show. I'm so glad you can make it.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, it's my pleasure. So, Granthrax, would you like to tell us a little bit about where you guys started?
We started in officially as Lust, the Agents of Lust, in 2012, November 30th of 2012. And we started with a big grandiose party, and we had done like a lot of house parties.
Guys.
We're
Yay!
recording. We're live. We're live. We started in, like I said, in 2012, November 30th. And we started with a big huge party to launch the Lust thing. And from there, we went on to do another house party. And then we wanted to get out and do clubs. And we started doing clubs in September 13th of 2013, or Friday the 13th, 2013, September 13th, and went on from there and been in clubs ever since.
Friday the 13th, that's a good time to start.
Exactly.
Well, there was like 3 of them that year, so we threw a party for each one.
Right.
That's awesome.
Those were great parties. I was so fucked up.
I wish I could have been there for them, to be honest.
Yeah, Heather joined the group in March of 2014, and Kay joined the group pretty much in June of 2014, where we're for the performing aspects.
Awesome. And have you guys kind of reached your ceiling of comfort in numbers, or are you still looking for more members?
I think there's still actually officially 2 more Agents of Lust shirts, because every member of the group has a purple shirt, which is says Lust on the front and Agent on the back. We did a limited run of those shirts, and those people are actually the only people that are actually performers in the group. So we still have 2 more shirts.
That's a great way to look at it. It's like the roof flippers.
Join this
Limited run.
We have no idea how long this will go. We're just gonna let it run its course, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Can you tell us a little bit about where the camera is right now? Because I think that's fucking hilarious, and I would love for our audience to hear that.
We're at me and Bruce are at our place in Scottsdale, Arizona. Heather, you tell us where you are.
No, I think she means where the actual camera is setting it onto right now.
Our camera's in our living room. On our prop that we use in our shows, this prop was named Bukkake by Heather Nance. And,
she turned down the name.
Because she turned down the name. And it's a prop that we recently brought it out with us to LA, and we've used it ever since. Now it's got a piece of metal on it, so we can actually grind on it. Because not only are we fire people, we're all fire people. Not only are we all fire people, fire performers, we also are grinders also.
Yep, I saw that. I think that's awesome.
Right.
Cool. And what is Bukkake exactly?
Heather, I think, can answer this one.
I can answer
I
this
think
one.
she has the most knowledge on it.
Well, if you look in the dictionary, the Urban Dictionary, actually the Bukkake prop is Bruce scored this torso, this woman's torso with no head, no arms, no legs.
Can't really define it as a woman.
It's fake.
Well,
Just so our audience knows and doesn't call the cops, it is a fake woman's torso.
No, we're not. We're not.
We just attach some metal to it and grind off a good version.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Cheers.
You guys are fucking insane. And I just want to let the audience know, if you haven't seen their pictures yet, they totally live up to their name. The Agents of Lust.
Yeah, you can look that up on Facebook, and then
Oh,
there's
yeah.
links to all of us on that,
Oh
actually.
yeah, there's definitely going to be a ton of your pictures under this video in the article. And you are not an all ages show at all.
Oh,
Right.
Yeah, we have actually, but that's not true, actually. We have performed for Bloodfest. We performed for Bloodfest 3 times, and Bloodfest is an event in Arizona, and it actually is all ages.
Yeah, it's an all ages rave.
Actually, and like one of my favorite shows was actually where we performed with Ron Decor. He's a record producer and a DJ out in LA. We performed with him. I think it was,
that was like 2 years ago.
yeah, I think it was actually 2013, and it was me, Bruce, and Carla Chaos. And what we did was that was all ages, but there was over 1,000 people, and probably 500 of them were actually under.
There you
500
go.
of them were actually under 18. So.
Oh my god. How did they react to your show?
I think it was awesome. It was like 1,000 screaming fans, really.
It was pretty
Wow,
cool.
that's great.
It was it was a huge crowd.
There we go.
That
Yeah,
is-
as you've asked in the questions, that was one of my favorite shows, actually.
I think mine was when I got to perform with Boom Boom. That was awesome. So much fake blood and that sexy beast on top of me.
I think
If you don't
mine.
know who Boom Boom is, look him up.
What was yours, Heather?
My,
Okay, what was yours?
go, honey.
You started. Go ahead.
My favorite show was my first show in LA where we did the fire paddle. That was awesome.
Yeah, we should do that.
Yeah,
more
actually, yeah. In LA, there's a little bit lighter rules for fire inside venues in the
Apparently.
places that we've played in LA versus Arizona. A lot of our Arizona stuff is the grinding is all inside usually, but and like palm fire and fire eating and stuff like that's okay in some clubs out in Arizona, but if we're blowing fire, it's usually, except for one time in Arizona, we blew fire inside of a club, but I don't know.
Well, we didn't really have.
Nobody has
permission.
pictures of it, but we did get to do that one time. But in Arizona or in LA,
And then we
when
got
we've
kicked
been
out.
invited out to LA, we've actually done a lot of shows for the LA Fetish Ball and the LA Fetish community out there, and they've allowed us to actually blow fire in the clubs and stuff. You'll see that
Wow.
in some of the pictures, of course.
That's really cool. I'm definitely going to call that out so people can see that. And did you, I mean, how, that's totally legal, and you guys had like the fire marshal there, and it just worked? I guess?
It's sanctioned by the club owner for us to do everything that we've done. So we'll just leave it at that.
Okay, fair enough. I will take
But
that.
the fire, going back to what Kay started about with the fire paddle, that was actually the first time we did the fire paddle on a stage in front of people. Actually, we kind of wanted to do that, and Kay was willing to do that. It's where we light this wooden paddle on fire with 151, and really, I haven't ever seen that documented ever before, and that's kind of why we wanted to do it too, especially in LA, where Kay was bent over on my walker, because I have a prop of a walker, and she was bent over on the walker, and Bruce was spanking her with a fire paddle. We use 151 for that because it doesn't burn
It
as hot.
evaporates
It
faster
evaporates
than the torch
faster.
oil.
Right, evaporates faster.
It's a
and
little bit safer.
It's safer.
It's a little bit safer.
But yeah, Kay got spanked by that, and that was her first time out in LA. We brought her out to LA, and that was a really good show. That was probably the most packed LA show that we've ever done, actually.
Nice. Good stuff. All right, cool.
Yeah.
So I'm probably not going to come
You
back
guys
to
another
the...
drink, Lord Bruce, for please.
Fucking Nate.
Oh, I'd have to mention, I think what was really fun was when we got to perform with the Genitorturers when they were here.
That's correct.
Aw, I missed that too.
Yeah,
Right?
that was
Where was that?
that was the fetish. There was fetish balls by Horns and Halos that were out here in Arizona, and they started off their final season actually of Horns and Halos. It was like a 10-year anniversary thing, and the first event was at Marquee Theater with Jenna Tortures was the main performing act. And actually, Heather got us into that gig. That was me, Bruce, and Carla also. And she got us into that. And performing on stage, they did a lot of performance aspects on stage. And then at the end, I went out there and grinded. I don't know, Heather, did we do fire with that?
No, they
I don't
wouldn't
think
let
we
us.
did fire, though,
No.
right?
I was supposed to do fire with her, and the marquee
Yeah,
said no
Marquee said
grinding,
no.
no fire.
yeah, the marquee was really strict and said no fire, no grinding. But at the end of the Jenna Torture show, we actually were able to. I was actually able to go on stage and grind for one stage, one song. There's
And then
pictures
run.
of that. There's already pictures out of it, so it happened. So. But they were like
Security came from
security didn't like it actually.
That was my first time performing with everybody.
Yeah.
The first time.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that was kind of. I mean, Heather had. Was that the first time, or
Yeah,
was
that
tongue
was.
tied? That was the first time.
It
Yeah,
was before that, yeah.
for
think-
Mardi Gras. We did an event for Mardi Gras where we featured Heather as a fire dancer inside a club downtown in Phoenix called Apollo's Lounge, where she's a fire dancer with
That's a
and
really good
does
show.
multiple things.
Cool.
Shorten
Very
your
cool.
answer for those.
Do all of you guys do fire to some extent?
No,
She does.
Yeah,
palms.
Kate has fans.
Yeah, she does.
Oh,
palms,
fans,
so-
that's right. I
The
forgot.
fans. So
Cool.
everybody does fire in some aspect. Me and Bruce,
Rock.
me and Bruce have been blowing fire since like the mid 2000s. Me a little bit
Together.
earlier. Together we've been. I was blowing fire in early 2000 where I had to take over for. I used to have a lot of art parties and somebody that dropped out of it and I was like I can do this or whatever. That's when we were blowing 151 before we started blowing lamp oil. And so I took over that night and I never stopped blowing fire. Bruce kind of did the same thing at a party.
Well, the first time I blew fire, I was like 13, and I think I saw it on TV, and so I went into the backyard with a ball of rubbing alcohol and a lighter. And after I got the hang of that, then I just started getting more into it.
We both used to blow 151 first, and it just got so expensive buying bottles of 151, and we were like, why waste all this alcohol? When someone was like, why don't you guys try lamp oil? Because we had never tried that before, and then once we started blowing lamp oil, we were just like, wow, this is a lot more awesome and a lot more cheaper. And it's a little bit more safer, obviously, because you get more intoxicated with the 151. But
Well, 151's more volatile, so.
hey,
It can
151 is a little bit more volatile. But
Hmm.
it's the only thing we use 151 for now is for the fire paddles, really,
And
Fire battles.
and drinking actually too. Yeah.
Can you elaborate on fire battles?
The fire paddles are.
Oh, the fire paddles. Okay. I thought you said
This is
fire
what-
battles.
this
I'm
is
like,
what
that
we
just
did.
sounds like a terrible idea.
This is what we did with Kay in LA. It was a wooden paddle, and we just kind of came up with it at a party, and we tried it on Carla.
it took a few beta tests.
Yeah, we tested it on Carla Chaos at the time. And,
She got burnt a little bit in the trials, but we got
Yeah.
the hang of it now.
Yeah. We it was just testing it. We weren't putting water. It's all a big show, actually. Nobody really gets it's all for show, really, and people freak out about it. But it's never really caught anybody on fire, so to speak. I don't think nobody's caught on fire because what we do now is rub water on either guys or girls' butts, whoever we've done the fire paddle on, rub water on their butt. I usually do that, and then Bruce pours the 151 on the wooden paddle, and then spanks the person.
Okay.
You're gonna edit that answer, right?
Nothing gets edited. It's
This is gonna be the
all raw
longest YouTube
footage.
video you got.
Well, actually, no, I'm really curious about that because it's, you know, it may not be the
We'll
safest
try
thing.
it.
There's some badass
Maybe.
pictures of us doing it for sure, and I think it's in LA. Like I said, that was one of the highlights of the night when me and Bruce and Kay were all on stage in LA, and it was Kay's first time, and then we just bent her over on the walker and stuck her butt out to the audience, and there was probably probably at least 500 people there at least that time. That LA one, that was the biggest one.
I wasn't counting.
At least 500 and something people, and Bruce we just did it.
The crowd went absolutely nuts. It was crazy. Like, absolutely nuts. It was awesome. It was like the best feeling in the world. And at that moment, I knew I belong here.
With a fire paddle to your ass?
Yes, it felt awesome.
That's how they jump people into the group.
See, I
Yeah,
don't.
Heather's next for sure. We haven't fire paddled Heather yet. We haven't fire paddled Heather yet. That's true.
We'll try with a writing club.
Thank you for reminding us of that.
I don't do in the group. The main thing I do is dance, and that's because I was a professional exotic dancer for 4 years. So
No
yeah,
worries.
Yeah,
the fire paddle is like the closest I get to, you know, playing with fire outside of my fans.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah, she's done fans too. She came into the group actually, like I said, in June of last year. Actually, we were doing an event at Apollo's, and Kay had kind of talked to me a little bit before about wanting to jump into what we were doing, and she just like balls out, like took off her top and then got down on the ground while I was grinding, and I started grinding on her, and I knew she could take that. And I think that's where, when I saw that, and then saw a lot of the pictures of the next few days, I knew that she was definitely going to be an agent into the group for sure, because of just being so performance driven, and she's good at dancing, while me and Bruce are both grinding on her, or singularly grinding our metal dicks with power grinders, shooting sparks on either her boobs or
her face. So
butt.
it's Spark Bukaki.
Fire. I mean, that is an aspect of fire too, because those sparks are on fire.
Hey, Heather.
It's metal on fire.
Heather, I pooped today. Story, you had to be there.
You heard it here on Fire Arts Magazine, folks.
It's our short, so we got it.
Actually, when Heather joined, Heather got
Where am
into
I now? Should I grab them?
Heather got into the group with sorry, Kay. Heather got into the group with because I had actually we had kind of just bumped into each other a few times or whatever, and then after the Genitorture thing, performing with her there, I wanted to bring her into what we were doing also, and she's very, very talented, a professional like fire dancer with wands, and Heather, all the stuff that you do, and eating fire too, yeah.
Cool.
I've seen a lot of shit, but when I saw Heather first perform, I was actually really impressed.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. So did you guys ask her on board?
I did, yeah.
I wanted her. I needed her there. She's my best bitch. Best bitch is
I don't know, Heather, you can tell the group how you got into doing fire and stuff, though.
I started belly dancing around 2007, 2008, and then that's kind of went from there when I started working at the Renaissance Festival and seeing people doing poi. I started with poi, The staff. Then actually, you kind of just, what else kind of light on fire? So it's like there's all kinds of, fire rope dart, fire nunchucks, fire sword. That's where I'm.
Yeah,
Oh,
fire whips, you can do it all.
Fans, torches, fire eating, fire breathing is probably the last thing I've learned.
Mhm.
I said I wasn't gonna do it, but it just kind of happened, and it's fun.
She was and she actually can blow her flames. When she blows flames, they're way higher than me and Bruce's. She's got a lot of blowing power.
But you guys do a lot of grinder stuff too. How did you get into that?
Actually, me and Bruce had a party at a house in Scottsdale that we had, and we decided to bring back a group of grinders. That there was guys and girls that were wearing a lot of metal and doing grinding on themselves at clubs and stuff.
Exactly what we do.
Exactly what we do now. But we got them to get to do a reunion show. They split up like a couple of years before that, and we got them to do a reunion show at a house party that I had. And they had a DJ and that followed around with them and stuff like that. And he was a friend of mine already. And so he was DJing, and they were there grinding in the backyard. And me and Bruce kind of just saw that, and I think Bruce actually picked up a grinder that time. I'd never even held a grinder at that time.
Piece.
And then I got asked to do it, and then we just started grinding on metal that night. And then they only wanted to do a reunion show, and that was it. They didn't ever want to get back into what we were doing. So actually, the guy that was partially running the group, Zach, he said, "You want all this stuff for $100?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll take it." And then me and Bruce kind of just, like I said, it kind of changed what we do for performancing, because we were only doing fire before that. Nothing really else at all.
We weren't really doing like stage stuff at the time. I mean, most of our stuff back then was just
blowing fire
and just kind of dicking around at parties.
Right. Because people,
we would like light off fireworks and.
Yeah, we were doing
had like weird games and stuff like that. Like Bullseyes for Porn is something we used to do a lot of.
That's true. We should bring that back, actually.
I think I need to do a disclaimer right now. Fire Arts Magazine does not condone or promote any of these practices.
But Lux does, so there you go.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, we just got into, like, once we got the grinders, me and Bruce started playing around with them. Like, we didn't really practice anything. We had a photo shoot with Carla, and we had the grinders there, and we're like, what is this going to look like? The guy that was shooting us at the time, Chris Patrick, was our early photographer, and he was just like, yeah, he was the one that shot the first one.
So that was after that.
And he was, took pictures of it. And we said that looks cool, with all the sparks coming off.
Mm-hmm.
And then we were grinding on Carla Chaos at the time, and she was like, she was cool with it, and we were cool with it, and we're like, we're gonna do this every time we perform from now on.
Mm-hmm.
And Bruce kind of came up with, we didn't have metal dicks before. Bruce came up with that whole thing, with the cod pieces with the big metal sticking out. And then we've always called them metal dicks or whatever, and we've always grinded on them. We've always had some other props with metal on it to grind on, but I mean, me and Bruce are known for
our
we're popular. We're popular for grinding on metal dicks, actually. So.
And do you guys make your own metal dicks?
Yeah.
I make them.
Say that without laughing.
Oh.
Since we said that at the same time. But.
That was very sweet. So would you say that that's, so I mean, when I talk about props, or when I ask the performers that come on the show about their favorite props, I'm usually talking about like toy and fans and stuff, but you guys obviously have a slightly different arsenal. Would you say that the metal dicks are your favorite prop?
Well, actually, that is true. Bruce used to actually have a great prop, but unfortunately, it blew up. It only happened at one show, and it was very, very epic. But it blew apart and burned to pieces, and that was it.
It took part of my.
And it was
I made this probably like 2 foot by 10-inch paper mache cock, and I put that.
Penis.
I can't say cock.
No,
Well, I mean, I think it's a little too late for propriety.
I have penis, and I wanted to shoot fireworks out of it, so I put one of those cardboard tubes in the center of it and strapped it to my crotch. And then I dropped one of those mortar shells down in it, and I lit it, and I was standing there all excited waiting for this firework.
everybody was there waiting to see everything. Like, oh, okay, this is gonna be awesome.
And you hear boom, and nothing came out. So it actually got stuck in there and then blew my cock to my penis to shit.
It blew apart completely, and that prop was no more after that. It totally ruined. And that actually was pretty epic, though.
Dude, it sucked.
He didn't get hurt even.
What are
Really,
you talking
not
about?
really.
My dick was black and blue and bloody for like a month.
That's a slight exaggeration. That's
No.
a slight exaggeration.
I couldn't even beat off.
That sounds like a terrible episode of Jackass.
Anyway,
I really should have beta tested it before I strapped it to my crotch.
That was
I would,
Bruce's
yes.
prop. I think my new favorite prop is probably
That wasn't your favorite?
my new favorite prop is besides the metal dick things, because we've had multiple ones of those. We've had to, because we keep grinding them down, so we keep having to kind of make new ones, because we do like an extended period of grinding for our show. Sometimes I'll grind up to like 45 minutes
You should see the videos.
in a show. Yeah,
On Clips for Sale.
And
What?
we have this. We also have a metal guitar. We have a guitar that we acquired that Bruce put some metal on.
What's
And
over
we
your?
grind on that. And we grind on that, and then my new latest thing that's kind of getting in pictures now is my bukkake torso. I like grinding on that actually.
The camera's falling.
What's your favorite prop, Kay?
Oh God, I have two. It's a tie. One of them's a new one for me. I got that staff thing with the styrofoam head on it that says "fuck my mouth," and we grind on that. It's got a steel pole on it. It's pretty cool. And then my box. Oh my God, do I love that box? It's an old cigarette dispenser. And I'm just barely short enough, like maybe 2 inches short enough to fit inside of it and dance in it without any discomfort. It's like the best thing in the world. I'm the only person that fits inside of it.
Is it like
That
a
is
cage?
correct.
It's like a little cage, and it looks sick when you rock it back and forth and go crazy in it. It's just awesome.
Back comes out.
It's a prop that we've taken out to quite a few events now, actually, and it's a metal box that Bruce acquired. And like I said, a long time ago actually. It's had
Hey,
forever.
Grandmax,
And
is there
then
something?
we never thought about
Your,
putting people in it.
check your mic, because we can't hear you too well.
Who?
Grandmax.
Oh, whoops. Jeez.
You're going to have to hold it.
You covering your hole?
Can you hear it now?
Can you hear us now?
Can you hear me now?
Still pretty low.
That's weird.
This piece?
No.
Did you break it?
Is there
But
two?
anyway,
Okay, we can hear you.
I'll just speak louder. Anyway, with
I
the
can't hear you.
you can't hear us at all.
I can hear you just a little bit. Yeah. Is there anything covering the mic hole?
Pick your hole, guys.
No, you should stop
Put
sticking
things in the hole.
holes, dude.
Okay, now it's got to work.
Yeah, that's all right. We'll take it.
Okay. The yellow box, like I said, is what Bruce acquired. It fits Kay perfect. We actually took it to LA for the first time at our last LA show. It's been in a lot of Arizona shows and a lot of Arizona events that we've done. And it's metal, so we can grind at it. And like I said, Kay, being the dancer that she is for our troupe, she fits in it perfect, and it has become her like home in this whatever. Actually, the box is actually, because since I can move around on this is the box actually
Sweet.
that Kay actually fits in.
Oh,
As you
clean.
can see, it's never been washed ever. We've never washed it.
Oh.
Please wash it,
That's
please.
one of the things. That's one of the cool things about it. It's never been washed.
No, it needs a bath.
You got a bath on the way home from LA.
Okay.
Right.
It got about the way
Well,
up
the
the
outside.
I'll wash
This is
myself.
actually the bukkake. Since I'm walking around,
Oh,
this
nice.
is actually the torso that we grind on.
Very cool.
I'm gonna go out to the car and grab my head.
And let me show you one more thing. Where's the guitar at?
Oh, man, I got a new prop for us.
Oh yeah, we have a closet, and we have.
Let me see if I can turn on the
Oh,
light
yeah,
here.
and the
Like
walkers.
literally project.
Don't
All over
cry
again.
in the rape room.
This is the guitar that we use to grind
Oh,
on.
sweet.
And then
So,
actually,
here's a
this is
sneak
my walker.
of something.
This is my walker,
Very
and
cool.
that walker's been with me since the beginning.
It's a table.
Hang on.
But it's a mannequin. It's
Do you
just
grind on that too?
half of a mannequin.
That's,
Yeah, the torso.
That's like, yeah,
Those
it's like
are not
Bukaki's
torso.
legs.
Those
The,
are Christiana's honor, okay?
the legs are made of metal.
So you could grind on
Yeah,
it
the
too?
front's actually metal to grind on and stuff right there.
No, the mannequin legs I just got. They're made of metal.
Do you guys ever bring her to shows? The legs?
I just got it, so not
Sweet.
yet.
Yeah, the first time
Yeah,
seeing
yeah,
it.
we've like, we just whatever we can come up with, because we always try to make the show, different and everything like that. We're always trying to push the envelope always, and we don't want to kind of do the same thing. We have like a continual presence of what we do. We always grind. We always do something with fire, but we actually are always coming up with new props and new stage shows.
I'm grabbing the head.
Is that Bukaki's head?
No, her name is Lucille Balls because she blows my balls.
That's sweet.
I think Heather actually named her.
I did? No, I didn't.
Maybe it was Billy.
Yeah, I named her something else. I can't remember.
That was a long, hectic night. You can't blame me for being spacey. It was fun.
So
Hectic.
while she's getting the head, let me throw another one for you. Have you guys, how much of your act is impromptu? Like, you guys are talking about people jumping out on stage and, doing their thing, and that's how they get.
Okay, we're back in now. I'm sorry about all
Sorry.
that.
Our IT guy called in today.
Okay.
You're asking how much of it is scripted versus.
Versus you guys just being you.
I think it's all improv.
Really?
I mean, bits and pieces are like scheduled ahead of time, like things that we really want to do. But most of it's just like, oh, well, we have this or we have that, and it just works.
We
And do
kind
people
of take ideas, but when it comes down to it, it's all kind of ad-libbed on the stage. But for the most part, we have general ideas of what we want to do.
Yeah, for sure. We
So
always
there's a
have,
general
like,
framework.
Oh,
Kind of
no.
built on that.
Boobs can't come out on Facebook. Not on Facebook, on YouTube. That's
I would say no.
it. So I've got my head.
Sweet. That does look like it could be Bukaki's head. Because isn't it black as well? I think if
It
you put all
actually
your
might
props
be
together, you get one.
Bukaki's long lost head.
But
We put all three of the pieces together, we would have a full mannequin.
There you go. I think that's a show. I think you could
Yeah,
do like
yeah.
a magic act thing where you
might
kind
have
of cut a
just
woman.
created our next act, actually.
Hey!
But yeah, we have a general idea that we all talk about and stuff like that before we're actually going to go on stage. A lot of places, you know, unless it's like LA where actually all four of us have been to more than once, we kind of know the stage or whatever. But a lot of times we're going into a club or going into a venue that, you know, we don't even know what it's going to actually be like. And we just play with, we bring everything and just go with whatever the crowd is feeling and everything too. And that will depend upon whether we're actually going to, you know, how adult we're going to be also, you know. I mean, if the crowd's really getting wild, like in LA, like not last time, but the time before or whatever, the crowd started getting into it and got wild and was like kind of getting like, you know,
Dude, the first
topless or whatever and stuff. They were like all getting into it, so we were like just kind of going with it, you know, and just playing it with the crowd too. So like the first year we did Bloodfest, the crowd was going insane. When me and Bruce and Carla did it, they were just going insane for us. So we were just like doing things to make them. We were like, what more do you want us to do? You want us to blow higher? Do you want us to catch this on fire? Do you want us to grind this more or what? You know, and they were going nuts. Carla was in the middle of that, and
that was a great time.
yeah, that was pretty funny. She was dressed like a demon for that show, I think, all red and stuff.
She was.
And then that kind of attracted the crowd. But one thing that time was the first time we actually used balloons, and I never thought that idea was going to fly. It was kind of Bruce's idea, and filling balloons with blood or you know, the fake blood or whatever and stuff like that. And I never thought the audience would be so like enthralled with just balloons or whatever, but they love it. They love the balloons. Like we've just incorporated that into like a number of our shows now. In fact, Bruce actually made a balloon with the Lust logo on it actually. So. Nice. That we've started throwing out at audiences too. I don't know why.
Grown ass adults.
People like balloons. You know, I don't know.
Don't we throw condoms off stage too?
Yeah, I mean, people have done that too.
Or like tampons soaked in blood. That's crazy.
Yeah, we for Bloodfest, like we're allowed when we're part of Bloodfest, we're allowed to squirt blood. They have like buckets of blood and stuff like that. We're allowed to squirt it all over the audience and stuff. We've done Bloodfest 3 times actually now. Me and Bruce have done it three times. Me and Kay have done it twice, and then me and Heather and Bruce and Kay have done it 1 time.
Okay, so how do these venues and these events find you guys, or how do you market yourselves to them?
Basically, I'm kind of like I'm usually the guy behind all that kind of stuff. Usually somebody, you know, sees something on Facebook. I mean, that's how the social media world or something like sees something and comes to us. I mean, Heather was the one that got us into Gender Torturers because something just kind of fell in her lap or whatever, and then we were able to join in. We're all from different like groups of scenes kind of in the valley also, so we've all of us merging together have kind of a big huge valley network actually. So with that, it's just it's mostly just somebody sending us a message and stuff, or a band sending us a message saying they want us to be involved. We did a video for a local band here that's getting some acclaim called Soundman Kills, which all 4 of us were involved in also. So, I mean, it's mostly other people contacting us. We do mostly the pictures. The pictures are out there, and then people see the pictures.
Very cool. Awesome. So I guess that's why you guys take so many pictures, and maybe you just love it. And
actually, we do have some photographers that work with us for events that want to go with us and stuff. But mostly it's just, you know, people. I mean, really, Heather's the only in the group, the only real model. Carla is kind of a model. I mean, me and Kay and Bruce are performers, and like it's I mean, we're just like mostly, as a group, as the Agents of Lust, we're just mostly performers, and we're throwing subject matter that a lot of photographers have never captured before, and I think that's why so many people take a lot of pictures of us, in my opinion.
That makes sense. That makes sense. And I think the best lesson to take away from that is that, you know, as long as you do something unique, people will be drawn to it, because that's why, you know, it's sort of a chain reaction with the photographers coming out to take your pictures, and then all the pictures get posted on Facebook, and then people want to know who you are and how they could book you for their gigs.
Right, exactly. That's pretty much how it all goes
Well,
down.
remember, like, when we started off, we were just doing it for our own kind of satisfaction thing, and then a photographer friend of ours came around and started taking pictures, and he was just coming up. His name's Zach Mohawk, and once we saw his pictures and what he was doing with, like, lens work and all that, that's when we kind of realized we could take this a lot farther than just house parties.
Exactly, because the pictures kind of tell a completely different story than actually the party. It makes it look a lot more spectacular. I mean, what we're doing is spectacular, but the pictures, you know, are being thrown out in social media are just like making it like.
It's making it blow up.
Yeah, making it just pretty over the top.
Well, maybe when you're on the stage, you don't realize how dramatic and cinematic you're being, and you just have to see it later in pictures as one of your audience members.
Yeah, like I said, we're all performers. We all have an aspect of performing, not like theater trained and stuff like that, really, but we all have an aspect of doing what the audience wants and rolling with it with what the audience wants. For the Agents of Lust, for sure.
Very cool. And speaking of your audience, you guys had mentioned that you get a lot of questions after the show from your audience. So what's some of the most common questions so that you could answer it here on the video?
When's your next event? I think that's the biggest one that I hear, actually. Me and Bruce were talking about that earlier, and I think that's the most asked questions. When are you guys doing? Where are you guys going to be next? Or when's your next event? And stuff like that. I don't know about Heather and Kay. You guys answer that too.
I don't know.
Actually, they probably asked for Kay's phone number.
I was just gonna say.
What's your phone number?
Can I get a photo shoot? You have sex with me?
Yeah.
Can I get a blowjob? Hey, do you want these drugs?
Yeah, exactly. Kay gets a lot of that. Carla, as she has been part of this group too, Carla Kish, she gets a lot of that too. Heather is I don't know. What do you get, Heather?
My lighting is starting to stink out here. I think I have to head inside. It was nice.
Good farting out there then.
Whatever. I pooped.
What do the most people ask you or say to you, Heather?
I don't really get approached, but you know what? I don't go out as much as you guys do afterwards. I kind of stay backstage and get my stuff together, and then just kind of don't mingle as much as you guys do.
Relax.
Yeah.
I like to relax.
Heather is the most professional of all of us. She's the most professional, probably the most sober too. The most professional, and it has the most props also. She has a lot of fire props and stuff, so it's a little bit different for her. But she adds like an aspect to the group though, to commend her of her coming in. She's brought this whole new aspect, especially with fire eating and everything like that, has made us only shine a lot more. It's really been a bonus to have her part of us as of last year. So
that's awesome.
I mean, Kay's wild and dancer, and Carla was and has been a wild dancer and stuff like that. And there's that sex appeal and stuff. But Heather has that sex appeal, and she's like a professional fire person that can do it. Although I think me and Bruce are going to start eating fire. We're going to like eat fire. We're going to light our dicks on fire and actually eat fire off of our metal dicks or something like that.
Again, Fire Arts Magazine does not promote these practices.
Your own or
not in a dangerous way, and totally in a totally safe way. We're actually going to put wicks on the end of them and light it and then swallow fire like Heather does. Because Heather's really, really good at that, and the audience totally loves it.
And they love our dicks, so we're gonna mix the two.
Yeah.
Awesome. Very cool. Have you guys ever actually gotten complaints about how sexual your acts are? And how do you deal with that?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think
so.
so.
You guys are picking the right audience.
I think actually, I don't think really. I mean, there's definitely been like security that has complained about us and stuff like that, thinking that it was over the top and stuff like that. But on most venues, actually, that we've performed at, all of the owners or the people that are running the venues have asked us back. So there's never really been an aspect where someone has really actually, blatantly complained. I'm sure there's people that don't like what we do, obviously, and they're just watching us for the sheer aspect, hoping that one of us catch on fire or something like that, just to make it more spectacular, because we are kind of a spectacular performing group. But we never get really like hate mail, except from like ex-girlfriends, ex-boyfriends. There's a lot of hate mail like that kind of stuff. But
that's funny. So as far as like you guys obviously push the envelope in terms of safety practices, are you ever actually worried that you might hurt yourself, or maybe it's not the best thing for the audience?
I burned myself a couple times.
Actually, obviously we know that there's an aspect of risk, and everybody doing all this knows that there is an aspect of risk as we're doing it. All of us have gotten nicked, and all of us have gotten burned. I mean, you play with fire, you play with metal tools and stuff like that. There's that aspect of danger where we're pushing the envelope, like you said, a lot more, and we have gotten nicked and hurt. I mean, there's never been anything very, very serious or anything like that.
What are you talking about? You must have surgery on your finger.
Oh, well, I duct taped it. I hit my finger with the grinder once at Planet Sex. This was before. This wasn't with Heather or Kay.
This was a while ago.
And it was like the beginning of the night. We were performing with all these bands for an event called Planet Sex.
Dude, he took his knuckle straight to the bone.
And it went the grinder went all the way to the bone. And I remember going into the bathroom, and there was a lady that was there, like she was a nurse actually, I think. And she came into the bathroom. Yeah, she had a first aid kit in her purse or whatever, and she came into the bathroom and she looked at my finger and she's like, that's all the way that's your bone. And I was like, I don't know if I was in shock or what, but it was down to the bone. But all we did was, like, she had some antiseptic, we put it in there and then wrapped it in duct tape, and it was like in the beginning of the night, so I just went right back out there like 5 minutes later.
You left that duct tape on for like a week.
Yeah, I left it on for a while, and it healed, and it's fine. I mean, my finger still moves and everything like that. See?
Oh God,
Still moves.
nice.
Not that bad of a scar. But that's, I mean, Kay, I know, has gotten burned and nicked. Heather, for sure, in her time, has gotten, probably nicked with burns and stuff like that. But we do have a conscious aspect while we're performing. To the audience, it looks a lot more, dangerous and out of control and chaotic. But we all have a good working relationship with each other.
And health insurance.
That we're
Health insurance.
that we're able to keep our wits about us, in a sense, to make sure none of us, get like more than just like nicks and burns. I mean, that just comes with the territory. I mean, you can in your industry of Fire Arts Magazine, I'm positive that most performers with fire and stuff. Do you have any food? We should get something.
You guys want some fries?
You see, but with the performing aspect of all the fire performers out there all over the United States or world and stuff like that, it just happens when you're performing with fire, or like us, we're a little bit different because we're using grinders so extremely. You're just gonna get nicked or get stuff in your eye or whatever. It just happens. We're just able to have a wit about us to keep on going, and
it sounds a lot worse.
It sounds a lot worse than it really is. We look a lot more dangerous than we actually mentally really are.
Gotcha.
I mean, we're all mentally like probably crazy to do this,
It's not like
but,
Hitler crazy, but I mean like
not like
Joy Division kind of crazy.
yeah.
Gotcha.
I
And do you guys?
The worst time I got hurt, the once, and I learned my lesson, I swear. We were doing a Soundman Kills video, and we were taking a break. And I, in my infinite wisdom, decided to hug Bruce,
Oh yeah, the hot thing.
riding on his codpiece. I have a scald on my stomach from where it landed.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That sucks.
But it doesn't show up on camera.
Note
So
to self.
Love hurts.
Don't hug hot metal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love
Heather,
hurts.
Heather, what about
Love
you?
me.
Tell a horror story, Heather. Heather's got to have one.
She's gotta.
With you guys or at all?
Well, no, well, just with us or in general working with fire because it's a fire-based interview. So.
Well, the worst burn I've had was when I was drinking and decided to play with fire, and I didn't have the right fuel. It's supposed to use white gas on my poi, and I'm like, lighter fluid is the same thing. It's not the same thing. I hit my back, and the oil will sit, and even though you put it out, it'll sit and burn your skin. So I actually burned my back about that much of it, and it burned my tattoo off. That's how deep it went. So that's the worst one I have. And I just have some like scars on my stomach from running the torches on it. But that's it.
It
And
just
then
comes
I'm
with the territory, though. I think for working for performing with fire, it just comes with the territory. You kind of expect it. I mean,
You don't learn what you can really do.
Right.
the fire.
Exactly. And I would challenge anybody out there doing performance art like in an alternative way like we're doing and stuff like that doesn't have like some kind of nick or burn for sure. So.
Fair enough. Do you guys take extra steps to protect your audience though? Or to make sure that they don't become...
Yeah, we're usually on a stage. We all have awareness about the audience. We won't usually pull somebody. There is, I mean, that's kind of really popular with us too. A lot of people want to be grinded on or be like, blow fire or something like that. You know, that see us, they say I can do that or grind on me or whatever. Because me and Bruce always grind on like chicks that come up from the audience. They lift up their shirt and they want to be grinded on or whatever. They want to be like Kay or be like Carla or now Heather's getting grinded on all the time now too. They want to be that girl, so they want to try it. They want to see what it feels like. And once they feel it, they're kind of, infatuated. Some girls will go, I just want to get grinded on my clothes, or some girls will be like, I want to get grinded on my, bare nipples or whatever.
When it comes to the fire, though, it's really about being a team.
Yeah, fire.
Because you gotta kind of know how the other person moves, or like what their tendencies are, or like where they're gonna go next, what move they're gonna do next, and not to get in their way.
Yes, in the Agents of Lust, all of the club events, I'm pretty positive we've kept it to just our group. We haven't involved the audience with fire. The only time we really involve the audience is with grinding. Most of the time we're so extreme with fire, actually. Because
everyone away.
Me and Bruce and Heather blow fire so extremely and so much that it's like they're like standing back anyway, just because of the sheer heat of us blowing fire that extreme. Especially if it's in a club, they're really standing back in LA usually.
Sometimes they're drunk enough to still approach you.
I mean, definitely we have to be aware. Definitely we have to be aware. Heather works with fire the most out of all of us, so.
Okay. And just because most people don't know, grinding is not, I mean, it does get hot, obviously, and you can burn yourself in certain instances, but it's a lot safer than fire is, because you're just getting hit by sparks.
Yeah.
You could dump your face in a barrel of like sparks and it's not really going to do much.
Right.
But like the thing is you got to remember the tools you're working with, and what you're grinding on gets really hot.
Right. It's mostly the dicks get really hot, or the metal that I'm grinding on the guitar, or the torso, the bukkake torso. Those are the ones that are actually going to get hot. If somebody touched it, they might get burned.
Right, from the
Like I
friction.
said,
of
with Heather,
something.
Heather working with all the fire that she does, though, I mean, she's got to watch it because people will probably get closer to her while she's doing, fire eating. When the first time we performed with Heather doing fire was in the middle of the club, actually, where me and Bruce, and I think we just kind of stood off behind to kind of keep people away so they didn't get too close to Heather while she did that, because she was completely almost surrounded by people.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Some people just get drunk and don't watch where they're going, or
Oh,
Yeah, you always have to watch out for drunk people. We always have to watch out for intoxicated people, always. Because the events that we do, there's a lot of drinking.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, it gets really tough to do that crowd control. Do you guys kind of take care of that for one another? It sounds like you do.
Yeah.
We take care of it amongst ourselves and stuff like that. You know, it's depending upon the venue. Sometimes they'll provide people to do like stage security or something like that. But mostly it's
And usually, if you're on a stage, you can kind of tell when they're like somebody wants to jump up, and you can kind of kick them off.
like LA, where we're really over the top extreme. That stage is so high. It's really pretty hard for people to get on. But sometimes.
But I mean, like when we do like the smaller venues where the stage is only like a 2-foot riser, and you see like someone like trying to stumble up that, you kind of like put your foot out and
Yeah,
push them away.
exactly.
Kick him in the chest or something.
Yeah,
Well,
we
you
have,
don't kick them, but I mean, like you just give them like a
Nudge
nudge
'em.
with your heel.
yeah,
That's
exactly.
awesome. I mean, that's not awesome. Don't do that to your audience. But yeah, sometimes
Well, I mean, it's
sometimes you need to protect yourself to protect them as well. And I
right,
think that's
exactly.
really,
We're not thinking of ourselves in that aspect. We're thinking of actually the people.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get hurt if they walk into my
Right.
ball of
usually,
fire.
right,
like-
right. We always have to deal with the wind also too, with outside events and stuff. That's one thing that me and Heather and Bruce always talk about with fire is which way the wind's blowing and stuff like that. Or if there's a fan inside the club or something like that, it definitely makes a difference when we're doing anything with fire, for sure.
awesome. Very cool. So I'm actually going to go ahead and shoot the last question out at you guys. Are you ready for that?
Last
Oh,
question.
yeah.
Awesome. And in Granthrax, you could take the lead on this if you want, but if everyone else has something to add, they could feel free to. So if you guys are ready, here goes. If the fire and performance community was a society, and every one of us had our jobs that would make it a functional society, as a group or as a troupe, what would your job be called in 1 or 2 words, and what would your responsibilities be?
I call dibs on mayor.
We would definitely probably be the entertainment television thing to take people's minds off of things. Probably.
Right, like,
Wouldn't
are
we?
you talking about like the Colosseum in Rome?
Yeah, we would be.
Where distraction of property and
We
hunger?
would be in the middle of the Coliseum performing for people, I think, because I can't think of anybody else that would be as
We're the distraction.
exciting or
We're the
distraction.
distraction of the shitty lives.
Right,
Yeah.
the city life.
They're not necessarily going to be shitty lives. I don't know. I think we could put together a pretty good society.
Actually, you're right, but we would probably be entertainers. We would probably be the entertainment. Here's
Okay.
tonight's entertainment: the Agents of Lust doing
I think you missed the question.
what they do best.
I think Anthrax would be.
Actually, what I wrote down when you sent me those questions, I wrote down I would be a cook, actually, because I'd blow fire on food and heat it up with blowing fire. But you wouldn't do that. though, would you?
if we were a society, I would be black.
Bruce is good with metal, so he'd be a blacksmith.
Cool. All right. I like
Heather-
that.
Heather,
That's
what would you
functional.
Or evil.
be? Heather, what would you be?
I don't know.
Exotic dancer.
Probably.
I think Kay's gonna be the exotic dancer, actually. In the community.
No raging slut.
Heather,
Would you be the
Heather,
mouse
I don't know
tamer?
what you would do? What would you do, Heather?
Probably like same, like what the belly dancers did, but not in a harem. Never mind.
No, run with that. I like that.
Probably, yeah, like entertainment.
Kay, what would you be?
I don't know, somewhere in between a raging slut and an entertainer.
I think those work together well.
I provide.
Yeah.
I make people happy. That's my job in life. I make people happy.
Yeah.
Movies are fun.
Kay is actually the happy ending of the whole thing for sure.
No pun intended.
All right, guys, good stuff. Is there anything, really quick, is there anything that I didn't ask that you guys think your audience should really know about?
I think the one thing that is probably right now, actually there is some workings right now for actually a .com website right now, but right now the best way to look at everything that we're doing, and if people want to be fascinated with what we're doing, is probably looking at the Facebook page, the Agents of Lust Facebook page, and then that links to each of us of what we're doing actually with all the pictures. Bruce is not on Facebook because he's that guy, but but definitely he's on the part of the group with me. So
you can get a hold of me to go through Anthrax.
Right, exactly.
Okay, very cool. Does anybody else want to kind of plug their performance presence?
Heather has a plug for sure.
Okay, cool.
Well, I would say that one more thing I'd add to let people know is that we are for hire, so our information can be found on Facebook, and now that it's been explained a little bit, I know the pictures and the video probably would give it a better view of what we do, but I think that we could be used for more events and parties than people think for entertainment. So
exactly.
We're the kind of they were the people that know they wanted. Now they know.
Awesome.
Exactly.
Would you guys be ready to tone it down if a venue or an employer asked for that? Could you kind of cater to that?
No.
I don't know about that actually. I think we've kind of based ourselves as an 18 and up crowd. I mean, Bloodfest is the only exception that we've ever made to be like an all ages thing. Everything else we've done, which is like 90% of everything else we've done, has always been 18 and up for adults. It's an 18 and up thing.
I'd rather be myself and known by no one than be known by everyone as something I'm not. So.
But you're already known as what you are, which is.
Exactly. So there's no need to tone it down.
Well, I just see it as why be a sellout for fame when you can have fun doing what you love? You know?
Mm-hmm. Well said. And you guys are doing pretty well with the personas that you've built out for yourself. So I totally got to respect that. And it's cool that you're sticking to it and you're not ready to cater to anyone else's needs. So,
exactly.
On that note, I'd like to bid you adieu. All the contact information and all information about getting you guys hired is going to be in that same article where people will access this video. So I hope you guys have enjoyed being on FlowChat, and I will catch you all next time. Thank you all so much.
Perfect.
Thank you.
All right. Love you. Thank you.
Love you too. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.